Welcome to Corporals Corner. Today we're going to make a simple bow drill, so stick around. A lot of times in life we tend to overcomplicate things in our jobs, in doing skills like this, the outdoors, and that's our own doing. For me, I personally believe that you should play like it's real and get a wide variety of training in all types of environments. Along with that, the types of materials that are produced or are available in that environment. So today's video is going to be about a bow drill, and I was going to do it on cottonwoods because they're everywhere out here. And back east I know everybody likes to use tulip poplar, so I wanted to try to show the difference between what we have and what they have. And as I'm making my way towards the cottonwoods, I see them off in the distance. I have to go through this wash bed. I looked around and I saw this other materials laying around here, and I said to myself, this is a great time to practice the Possum mentality that we talked about in several videos, and that is seizing the opportunities that present themselves and taking advantage of the materials as you come across them, because where you're going, they might not be there. And as I started collecting materials, it dawned on me, and I said to myself, you know, this is going to be too complicated. Not that I can't do it, I've done it several times, but why would I want to go to a cottonwood tree and produce all the parts for the bow, sit there for half an hour, carving everything out, make it all look neat and nice and pretty, and then attempt to produce an ember? When I have palm tree right over there, I have seep willow or mule fat growing all through this wash, and once again, that's possum mentality. I can recognize those materials and I can collect them. So today's video, I want to title it Simple Bow Drill or Easy Bow Drill. Not to say that friction fire is easy or that it will ever be easy, because it's not. But in reality, if I didn't have any gear and I had to produce an ember using fire by friction, would I want to go to the hardest tree I could find? Oh, look, there's an oak tree. Let's go over there and try to make a bow drill set. Or would I say, I know for a fact that a soft wood is a palm branch and there's seep willow everywhere. I could probably get a hand drill or at least a bow drill going and produce an ember like this. And that's good to go in my book. Now, please don't confuse this with learning the easiest set to make and then go out there and think you're going to do it every time. You should train with juniper, with cottonwood, with aspen, with tulip poplar, with oak, because those materials might only be available where you're at. But at the same time, if you can take advantage of a situation and collect certain materials for future use, that's possum mentality at its best. It's thinking ahead. So with that mindset of simplicity, this next part of the video you have coming up is a simple or easy bow drill using materials off the landscape. Enjoy. At this location right here, we have a cottonwood on our left, and we have mule fat or seep willow on our right. It's a perfect location to score a bearing block as well as a spindle. And for identification purposes, here's your leaves on your seep willow or mule fat. Once again, they grow in wash beds, drainage ditches. They have a full view of the sun, and they can collect and suck up that water. I want to try and find the straightest piece that I can. The diameter that I want is the size of my thumb, but no smaller than the size of my index finger. Once again, for identification purposes, that's what mule fat or seep willow looks like. I want to go ahead and cut this down, so I want to rotate it and find the straightest piece possible. There's a small curvature to my left, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece off. I want the length to be anywhere from my pinky to my thumb. Now, utilizing the safe cutting technique, this is called a beaver chew. Got the work out in front of me. My hands closed like a fist. I'm pushing into the material as I rotate my spindle. Once I'm comfortable, I'm going to flip the spindle around and do the exact same thing. And you'll watch pieces pop right off. Once again, this is called the beaver chew technique. And when it's all said and done, the piece should snap in half. And then you look at your spindle and you notice one side, the diameter is actually larger. On that larger end, you want to go ahead and round it off, and on the opposite end, go ahead and carve it to a taper. Okay, so what I've done here is I've taken a piece of cottonwood and just batoned it in half. This is going to be used for my handhold or bearing block, sometimes referred to as a socket. I'm able to fit my hand over it just like that. And then just make a small indentation or depression in the approximate center. That way the tapered end of your spindle can fit right inside there. And you can drill into your fireboard. Now that we have our spindle and bearing block out of the way, we can focus on our bow. Bow is nothing more than a curved stick. This one has a wide branch at one end, and on the opposite end, I went and used the beaver chew method and carved out a small area, and that's where my bank line is going to go ahead and tie off. On the opposite end, I'm going to tie a bowline. Now to tie a bowline, what we do is rotate it over, pass my end up through that hole, take it around the cordage, and back down through the hole, grab my ends and pull it tight. And that's a classic bowline. The tail's on the inside. This part's pretty straightforward. All you're going to do is wrap it around several times. And then you hold on to your bow. You want to go ahead and place your finger on that area and apply pressure. That way it won't slip. Here's some footage from a previous video on the hand drill. You have a palm branch in front of you right there. Find the straightest piece, then go ahead and cut it, and then start carving it down to resemble a 2x4. Then just take my knife and I'll make an indentation. And this board right here happens to be the palm branch from our hand drill video. Next, take my spindle and just gently push down and twist it. See a small divot right there, and that should be good to go. And now we're ready to seat our drill. And that should be good to go. And all you got to do is remove that material, and you want to remove it anywhere from 25 to 30% into your indentation or your divot where you seated your drill. Now the last thing I want to do, turn it over, and I want to go ahead and carve out some material around the bottom. This will allow some airflow to the ember. Now we blackened our tip on our spindle. That's all I'm going to do here. Go ahead and remove some of that material where you can see white. This is not mandatory, but it actually helps out. It's got fresh material to burn. Should be good to go. Now taking my ember catch, just like last time, there's a piece of our palm branch. I'll place it down on here. Put my board on top. Got my bow and my spindle. I come up between the string and the bow, then rotate it down and away towards me, and it should lock into place. I can rotate it down towards my hand. Place my bearing block or socket onto my tapered end. I'm going to lock my wrist against my shin. And then I'm going to utilize the full length of my bow. Start off slow. All we're doing is we're filling that notch with powder. Do it a little bit faster, and the ember should pop itself right out. Welcome back, that was good to go. If you noticed in that previous clip, the fireboard, the palm branch, actually was on fire. It caught an ember and actually took an ember itself, and it actually destroyed itself. So you can see there's disadvantages to using a palm branch for a bow drill. But did it work? Yes. And truth be told, this and a yucca stalk are my go-to in the desert because you can get an ember. I don't want to say it's guaranteed, but it's pretty darn close as long as everything is completely dry. Let's talk about the spindle. I showed you how to collect the seep willow. You want it no fatter than your thumb and no thinner or skinnier than your index finger. You want it to run approximately your pinky to your thumb in length. Taper one end off and around the other. The socket can be any piece of wood that's green. This here is cottonwood. In your bow, I prefer a Y branch at the end, slight curve to it, and number 36 bank line. And once again, no way, in no way am I saying do this every time. Practice, play like it's real, get out there, get experience with all types of woods in all types of environments. Thank you for your comments, views, support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'll catch you next time.